Hello and welcome to my cellar. No, I'm not sure for how long. I've been sick the last 3 days, and so we'll see how this goes. This is the first day I felt like I wasn't going to die. And there's not a hell of a lot of comments. Grand Command. The club advocating high school librarian returned to comment here. Sorry for the absence. Memory serves, the last comment I was teeing up. Congratulate you on 350. Yeah, okay. I began watching around 250 and commented I was looking forward to the next episodes. Now we've blown past them. I'll look for 420 Okay, 420 sounds good. I'm going to celebrate that one with a bong. I hope that everyone here had a great summer. I traveled to Philadelphia and attended American Library Conference. There was a great presentation by Washington State Libraries on how they used the Surgeon General's report on loneliness and isolation as a basis for a statewide library D&D grant program. Sadly, there was not as... Wow, that's just amazing. Sadly, there's not nearly as many presentations like this as I would have wanted to see. When I looked over the bill at Gen Con, there were pages of talks and workshops about RPG and education, so we have to do better tying that thread. Happy also to report that some colleagues and I are on the bill for American Association of School Libraries Conference next month to spread our message of D&D clubs for school libraries at a nationwide conference. We previously presented at our state library library association conference. Oh, big words. If you're thinking of starting a club, join me in this journey and get it started today. Speaking of clubs, have to report my colleague with the middle school club has 35 students participating, and my high school colleague and I have about 25 each. D&D is alive and well amongst the youth. Boy, I say, congratulations to you. At my school, we're continuing our campaign from last year, started in the fall of 24, which is a first for our club. They're splitting time with me as DM with a new group who will be playing behind them in the same world. I'm giddy with the possibility of this newbie party walking into the original party's aftermath. Oh, God, yes. They walk into the village and immediately are trussed up and put in boiling pots of water, and they go, oh, what'd we do? I'm giddy with the possibility of this newbie party walking into the original. I would love to hear any thoughts you have on this type of scenario. A lower-level party following a higher-level party and any scripted additional invention, meaning they go to the same locations, interact with the same townsfolk. Well, that does offer some interesting possibilities and some improbabilities. Now, if you're a sadistic type of DM, which of course none of us are, or this was at a convention. Those poor buggers, those lower level buggers that get to walk in behind the mayhem created by the bigger party, well, they're going to catch a lot of hell that wasn't necessarily meant for them. I think that in briefing this party, especially before they start, that it might be wise for the DM to at least drop a hint that they might not be welcome, especially if they don't know what the preceding group has done or not done, who they pissed off and who they didn't. I would give them at least a little warning so they just don't go walking down Main Street and, wonder why the posse just got them all. This is where old school D&D excels. If you play it right, that's getting information. Obtaining information. Find out. Are they going to jump on the next party of ne'er-do-well, happy-go-lucky player characters strolling down the road? Well, some interesting considerations for that second group. Some interesting gameplay for them. Well, we have a third group which is being run by a novice student DM. he's decided to run several of the Candlekeep mysteries strung together in a coherent narrative. He has potential student DM who will be a player in this group while she develops her campaign next semester. We graduated a lot of members last year, but at sign-up day this year, we had more than double that number of new members. I was thinking with the new Stranger Things season on the way, we may see even get more. We may see. Pardon me, I'm not reading well tonight. I should put my glasses on. We should see even more interest coming. Habit also reports that students seem eager to try out the new systems beyond just making a character. We have never switched off 5e. Ooh! They did not have any interest in 5.5e. So I'm excited to try some Shadow Dark with them and maybe some more DCC. Yeah, great. Take them there. My own bias aside, yeah, take them there. One senior student will soon be the recipient of his very own scientific barbarian D-tooth death die, thanks to Mr. Wampler and Company. He's been obsessed with it since I introduced it to the club several years ago. So I went ahead and ordered him his very own for his final campaign as a student. Hope everybody here has a great week. Well, he must not have been too obsessed, or he'd have done Scientific Barbarian D2 Death Die online and found it. But your point's well taken, yeah. And of course, yeah, Jim's gonna continue to have them. Sounds like you're really on track. Sounds like you just want to flaunt your success and my failure. I cannot. We can't. I'm thinking about going around the library and just going up as a private citizen on my own. The library's not giving me much help. They're not greasing any doors for me to get into, so I may have to do it on my own if I want to see it done. And that saddens me. Salute from my cold-riddled brain. Low-key, low-energy cues for you. Okay, low-energy questions. What is the worst thing about DMing versus playing a tabletop RPG? Well, when they're having a great fun hacking everything up and finding all this treasure and that, wouldn't you? I'd like to be in the group finding all that and run my hands through the casks of pearls and stuff. But actually, I'm more comfortable behind the screen. Have been for many, many years. Question 2. Dinner with the historical person of your choice variant. If you could pick any DM from the darkest depths of TTRPG history or to the present, hey, not the future, to play one last campaign, who would you choose? Historical person. You mean like Napoleon? Or like Gary Gygax? I'd be glad to have either one of those at my table. I'll tell you what I'd like to have at my table. I'd like to have that orange-haired buffoon sitting in D.C. who now visions himself as a great strategic leader sit down and try to beat somebody at Axis and Allies. Couldn't do it. But anyway, I'm not going down that road. I try to keep that shit out of here. I got triggered 2 weeks ago with a cover of the Week magazine showing him pushing units across the board and being a great strategic, jerkwad. I'm pretty sure I don't have any Trumpers watching this, and if I do and you're offended, well, sorry. You picked him, not me. Next. Thanks for answering about the Bard. I think there was a miscommunication. I wasn't saying people should stop adventuring after a couple rooms so the Bard could level up. I was sarcastically pointing out how nobody in their right mind would stop adventuring after a couple of encounters just so the dual class PC could go back and level up. Well, see, here we go. Leveling up. You don't do it instantly. I don't give a damn if you get half again as many points as you need for the next level. You don't do it immediately. You don't leave and go out and level up. That's crap. That's deserting your party. And as a DM, I would look like this as your party dealt with you. But hey, that's just me. Your mileage may vary. Therefore, one couldn't even become a bard in 1E until everyone else was name level or above. That is, a class only available to high levels, a tier where most... And see here, it cuts off again. I don't know why this is doing this, but it is. Well, number one, who gives a shit what the other players are doing in terms of leveling? You're not leveling them. You're not playing them. You are nurturing and culturing and fertilizing and watering your player character. In my opinion, and this has always been a tenet of my gaming of any kind at all, the fun is in the doing. The fun is in the striving. I don't go look at my sheet and go, oh, hell, I need X number. I can go out and kill 6 orcs, a goblin, and a troll, and I can level up. No. I know it's anathema to say this today, but in the original group that we tested shit in Shedford at Carmondale, hell, we never even totaled up experience points after every adventure. We were so into it, and so the bit in our teeth that we didn't stop to do that. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll do that for the next session. No problem. And so then I go home and do some math and double check everything, and then they'd come in and say what they thought, and if it agreed with my math, yep. And if it didn't, well, let's check that again. And because it was usually a simple mistake. I don't know that I ever had a cheater in my group. If I had, he wouldn't have been there very long. And not if he kept cheating. But, you know, who's he cheating but himself? Or herself? Though back then it was hymns. What is shaping a story part of your DM style? Why not? No, I don't shape the story. Picture it this way. I'm going to lay out a very, very bare bones outline. It's up to the players to write the prose, to make it real, to make it theirs. It's up to the players. Certainly not up to the DM. It's up to the players. I don't, you know, I've always believed that with the exception of a time-limited convention game, I'm content to just sit back and let the players fill out the details. And hey, you know what? Sometimes they'll try a detail that I hadn't thought of, and it just adds to the flavor and color of the story. Yay! I'd be foolish and wasteful to not use that which was created by the players, because then it becomes our world, our game, our adventure. You know, I can write the Lost Adventures. I can write it out. I can tell you the backstory, what's going on, all that kind of stuff. And it's still going to be up to the party that goes in there what they do or don't do that's gonna flesh out the story. I've just got the bones of the plot. Hope you and your family are well. Thanks for your continuing. Okay, you're welcome. Let's go on to the next one. Thanks for keeping me entertained with your stories and gaming advice. Do you have a favorite villain from a D&D source or other literary work? Great villains can really enhance a story and make the plot exciting. Because I've followed your recommendations before, Heights and Nichols, what are you reading now or recently? Thanks. I appreciate that. You're welcome. Right now I'm reading Robin Hobb, the Farseer trilogy. I'm in book 2. It's quite good. It's old, I know that. But, I can't read everything when it comes out. I think it's quite good. Do I have a favorite villain from a D&D source or other literary? Oh, geez. If I really wanted to turn the hair white on all my players' characters, I'd stick Dracula on them. But then again, there wouldn't be anything left but dry husks, and the game would be over and whatever. I was a history teacher. I can pick so many villainous people from the pages of history that would make a great villain with just a minimal of disguise. Another question regarding new young players. How would you deal with a player that just can't seem to handle failure? I'm speaking in terms of being a good mentor and trying to get the player to enjoy the flow of the game, and not just in terms of black and white success or failure. I'm not sure I've been clear here, but I hope you get what I mean. Yeah. Nobody in their right mind wants to be held accountable for destroying somebody's mental health. Okay? If you do, don't watch me anymore, because you're not my kind of people. Anyway, somebody in his house is not teaching that boy right. It's the striving as much as the big juicy cake at the end. And that's what I would explain to him. Hey, look, this is a place for you to try stuff, not worry about it. It's not you really. And hey, if it doesn't work, try something else. It's called learning. You certainly don't want to crush the young person's spirit. To mentor him, tell him it's not about there are no winners and there are no losers in D&D. Regardless of what Chevy Chase screamed one year on Parks and Recreation, there's no such thing. So, okay, you didn't succeed this time. Try again. Try again. And keep encouraging them to try again, or you're liable to see somebody that grows up and goes, oh, shit, I didn't do that the first time. I guess I'll go do something else. If you want to be a mentor, I think that's what you have to inculcate in their personality, is it's the struggle, not the win. That's why we retired players at 9th, 10th, 11th level. We retired them. We did what the back of the book said. We went out, we carved a little duchy out of the wilderness, built a castle with all our accumulated loot, hired men at arms, and just did. That character was retired. And every once in a while, those old retired characters would get called out of retirement because there's a great threat facing the kingdom. But it was a lot more fun I felt after about 10th level that kind of got repetitive and boring. So I was more than glad to start another character. But that was just me. But that's a lot of that's what a lot of us at TSR did. We shared that opinion that it was the struggle and the strife, not sitting somewhere bejeweled. It's, it's a real life lesson. Okay, you get defeated the first time, you get up and you try again. And you get up and you try again, and that's what people do. They get up and they try again. Caverns was great. R.I.P. Paul Jaques. Well, yes. At his death, Paul was Janelle. Took me a little while to get around that. He was one of the very, very first people I knew that transitioned. And thankfully, he made it easier for me and helped shape my opinions. And I've been much more welcoming than I might have otherwise been. Great guy. Great woman. Any insight on the unreleased Shadowlands module? I heard it might pertain to Lolth creating shadows. Nah, I got no idea. People don't consult me. I'm just a name in a bibliography to a lot of them. And that's okay. I'm not bitter about it or anything. But I don't get consulted on stuff that's coming out. I can understand it. There's maybe 2 people in the world that I would consider creating an adventure with. Otherwise, they're pretty much individual efforts. All right. What are your opinions on using henchmen, hirelings, and retainers in a D&D game? They were a regular part of early D&D, but are gone now from 5th. Well, yeah, sorry. I don't give a damn what 5th did. They'll always be in my game. I don't even know who made this. It's one of the small guys. And I don't know if there's a name on the bottom of this. But in the Knights of the Dinner Table, Jolly Blackburn created the pack ape. All right, a trained, docile ape who had ape-like strength, who could carry everything but the kitchen sink on his back, would never run away, wouldn't fight, but would never run away. Now, the wouldn't fight part, a couple times I understand they went berserk and caused some mayhem. I liked hirelings and henchmen. Retainers, I didn't give so much care about those until I retired a character and built my duchy. Several of what later became player classes were originally hirelings. If you needed a specialized skill, you went and found somebody. And they weren't cheap and they weren't easy to find. And sometimes you could spend a couple of sessions just trying to find, particularly when you're at lower level, 3rd, 4th, 5th level, and you're going up with somebody that has some skills. Well, why not hire a hedge wizard? Okay, so what if they take 1/3 of the loot? If you all come back from it, that's 2/3 more than you left with. There were a lot of unethical uses of hirelings in the old days. They always put the hirelings on the front so they caught the arrows and the spears and the rocks, and whatever. Well, the answer to that is, that happens once or twice, you're not going to hire anymore. You've already got a reputation and nobody you hire comes back. So you'll ruin that right off. But I like hirelings. I like retainers, but henchmen, But hirelings mostly, hirelings. straightforward contract. Come with us, face the equal danger, get a portion of the loot. If there is no loot, well, too bad. But I like them. Are they essential in my games? At this time, no. Or does having those extra characters in game just slow things down unnecessarily? What led Gygax and Artisan to put them in original? How are they originally intended to be used? Well, I think Dave and Gary put them in so that if there only 3 guys showed up and they wanted to go take care of some unfinished business, they could hire a couple of people and go take care of business. Back in the days when, maybe 4 people in your entire high school played, and 2 of them couldn't get together with you, well, hirelings and henchmen worked out pretty well. They fleshed out the party. If you were a good DM, you paid them off their agreed percentage before the players got to split the rest. And if you treated them right, they'd probably be available next time, provided you're in the same area of the campaign. Now, if you're on the other side of the continent, well, you got to go out and find some new ones, some other ones. How are they originally intended to be used? Flesh out the party, specialized skills. When I created the psionic system, I intended them to be specialists, people that had great skills not available to the rest of the group, and it would enable the rest of the group to face great threats. In the first year of D&D, year and a half, if the DM put a mind flayer in there, you were all toast. Just the way it was. Mind flayer was terrible powerful and just squinted at you and fried your brains, or the equivalent thereof. That's what they're intended to do. Be that hard gun for that situation. All right. Breakfast with the Master is a perfect morning. Also, Scooby-Doo isn't on at the moment, or it might be a harder choice. Well, thanks a shit ton. Would it make you feel better if I said first kill all the 5e bards? I don't have any idea what the bards are in 5e, except that if I had to guess, they're probably stupid and overpowered. Ridiculous. I don't care if you kill them. I don't have a character. I like to put Tim or Mitt the Druid, sometimes Lusty Druid, in my adventures. You will live forever. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, there's stories about Tim Lusty Druid that all arose during the playtesting of the Village of Hamlet, because we'd never created anything like that before. We had made straight out adventures. Go here, take this, then go there and take that. This was a whole different ball game. Go in, interact, learn, etc. So, I'm. Tim the Lusty Druid was credited with several subspecies and crossbreeds that today we know aren't possible. But at the time, it was fun. And I didn't have any choice. They sang the songs when I was there or not. They made up new verses. Excuse me. I need to wet my throat. And, don't take what I said earlier about the Shadowlands, not knowing anything about it. Why would anybody come to me? For one thing, the younger players have no idea who the hell I am. My name's been scrubbed out of almost everything. And I don't care. You do you, I'll do me. My campaign is my campaign, your campaign is your campaign, even if you insist on playing with weird rules. still your campaign. And on that note, I will cut this abbreviated version down. Oh, and by the way, I should have led with this. Jim's amazing coming up with these wacky intros of mine. And I've told him he can use that one again anytime the adventure is short. So who knows when that'll pop up. But kudos to Jim Wampler for coming up with these things. I guess it's time to say the magic word. Dodata Gobi. Hello, and welcome to my cellar.
He's the curmudgeon who wrote about the dungeons. Now he's the feller, live from the cellar. Talks about D&D and old school RPGs. Still quite a feller, the curmudgeon in the cellar. Last man around when them rates went down. Called it Gary in that Lake Geneva town. Hey Gary, it's an awful mess. Let me edit, we'll have success. D&D and Dragon Magazine. He's a curmudgeon who wrote about the dungeons. Now he's the feller, live from the cellar. Talks about D&D and old school RPGs, but he's still quite the feller, the curmudgeon in the cellar. Magic missile, it's a mortar shell. Make it hit in the first level spell. Brought psionics to the game to attack that wizard's brain. DSR and fantasy, collection of micro armory. Titan with tramp under a tree, high as could be. He's the curmudgeon who wrote about the dungeons. Now he's the feller, live from the cellar. Talks about D&D and old school RPGs, but he's still quite the feller, the curmudgeon in the cellar. Still quite the feller, the curmudgeon in the cellar. Curmudgeon.